In the last 14 days, we have spent 2,500 minutes searching for that perfect deal.
In this video, we're going to be showing you how to buy properties for less than they're worth and then reselling them to make a profit.
Now we are gonna help you step by step, whereby we take you through how do we find that right property. So when we started, we thought that property investing is all about going to my app and I'll find that property within less than 5 minutes. I'm gonna put a heart to it and I'll be making that offer as soon as possible. But guess what? It doesn't operate that way.
Now, looking for the right property to invest in could take time. Why, you may ask? Because apps that are used commercially are mostly for people that are buying homes and not for property investors. And for the good deals, other investors take them as soon as they land on Property 24.
Let's start with the process. How do you find that good deal? First and foremost is that we need to niche down and understand a specific market that we're looking at. And once you have that market, you then need to study the market in terms of how much are the 2 bedrooms selling for, how much are the 3 bedrooms selling for, and how much are the 4 bedrooms selling for. Then you will then put an alert on that market, right? So what will then happen is that as soon as there's a new property that's listed, you will be then told that there is a new property on the market. Then it's your duty to quickly run through it and have a look at comparing it with the averages. So of course, if you saw that the 2 bedrooms are selling for 800,000 and then all of a sudden a 2 bedroom that's listed for 500,000, that's a start.
Now let's go to the laptop to look at it practically. Looking at this area, properties around here usually sell for 1,200,000. Now what we are going to do is that we're going to set alerts for properties selling for 1 million. Now what will then happen is that when properties are actually placed on the market and they are below 1 million, we are going to be the first ones to know that there is a property that's on the market. Now, looking at what needs to be done on the property, that's when we will know if this is a property that is below market that we can actually fix and resell.
If you're finding value in this and you'd like a one-on-one meeting with us for us to really mentor you about this and find out more about this, hit the link below. Remember something, that if yes, we did find that property that's below market value, right? However, now we're only seeing pictures that only show outside, and it's only that one picture, or that's 2 pictures, whereby we can see it's literally outside the gate. We need to be aware of this, because remember something, as a seller, if I am selling a product, I would like to show off on its features. So if we're not seeing that, that shows us that there is a problem. So beginners, please do not do this mistake.
Now that you have actually set notifications on your phone, we need to now understand that who are we going to be talking to when we do get those alerts. Now we are going to be talking to the estate agents. So estate agents are the ones that are going to be selling us these properties. These guys are really, really important. If you do not get along with that estate agent, chances are they will try very hard not to get you that deal. So what we're basically saying is that creating the right relationship with them will allow you to get more deals. Now, the most important thing that you have to understand is that when you talk to an agent, there are things that you need to ask them. Nell will tell us the 2 most important questions that we need to get when we are talking to an agent.
So question number 1 is that how much is the market value of this property within this area? Even though we do have this information prior, because remember what will be happening is that we are trying to tally up in terms of when it comes to selling, will we be able to sell it at market value? Question number 2, what defects are there on this property? Remember now, with the new South African law is that the owner needs to declare before this transaction is concluded. So what I would then do is that this is not just a verbal conversation. It should be on paper so that you can understand fully what you're putting yourself in. Tip number 2, Lewu, is never, ever pay an estate agent, because remember, in South Africa, when it comes to a transaction of a property, as a buyer, you will always be paying the lawyer, which is the conveyancer, and then the conveyancer will then be distributing those finances accordingly. So tip number 2 to the beginners, when you find that property that you like, you spoke to that estate agent, you're not asking them for their personal account. We deal with the conveyancer.
If the agent is an expert in this area, they would have already had a lineup of people that are willing to buy properties as soon as possible. Now remember, we were in a situation whereby the lady was saying that she sells properties within 2 months. Now, if you have a situation like that, you know that the quicker you can go out of the deal, the faster you can get to the next deal, and the lower your holding costs would be.
So let's head straight to that example that you guys have been looking for. So here's a deal that we rejected because the numbers didn't make sense. So the purchase price of this property was 450,000, and then we knew that the selling price was 780,000. I could imagine for a beginner who's looking at these two figures, it's a no-brainer. Like, why am I not purchasing this property? Hence, we do have that link in our description for beginners, whereby if you are interested in knowing more about property investing, we would be more than happy to sit down with you and explain this more. How can we add value to your journey? So the renovation cost on this property was 224,000, and then the holding cost of the property for 6 months was 60,000. Looking at it on average, it's about 10,000 a month. And then looking at the agent fees, once we sell this property, we were looking at paying 62,400.
Now let's do quick math, right? Let's say 780,000 minus the 450,000 that we used to buy the property, minus 224,800 that would go to renovations, minus the 60,000 that will go to the holding costs, and minus the agent fees of 62,400. We realized that we would actually be running at a loss of 17,200 on this deal. So even though the property was priced below market value, the costs were actually going to make us run at a loss.
You can't go wrong with property. That's a lie. It was proven in today's video. So check out this vlog to see more in terms of how we crunch numbers and what made sense within the deal that we come from.
That's like a pro
with Normal.